Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. We did start the meeting 1:30 for a closed session, and we're back now with our regular meeting of council for Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. For those in the audience and online, the meeting will be recorded for audio and video keeping purposes and for record keeping purposes. And if you're here, if you just put your phone on airplane mode, that would be great. I appreciate that. So we'll start off with a motion to rise and report out of our closed session at 2:01 p.m. Moved by Deputy Mayor Miskimins, seconded by Councillor Holoka. All those in favor? Thank you. Motion is carried unanimously. And motion before me to deal with the matters discussed under our said closed session. Motion being the confidential MHBC planning report regarding blocks B and C of Plan 1371 land development be received as information. A mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Burnell. Seconded by Councillor Holoka. All those in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. Okay, if you're able to stand and join me in a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. Moving on to our land acknowledgement statement, Councillor Holoka has reached out and he would like to do it today. Councillor Holoka.
Thank you, Your Worship. Le canton de Tiny reconnaît que nous sommes situés sur ce qui était jadis le territoire traditionnel de la nation Huron-Wendat et le peuple Anishinaabe. The Township of Tiny acknowledges that we are situated on what was once the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat Nation and the Anishinaabe people. Le canton de Tiny a été et continuera d'être une patrie élue des rassemblements importants pour le peuple autochtone et les citoyens métis. Ensemble, nous sommes les entendants et gardiens de ces terres et des eaux, et nous devons maintenir cette responsabilité afin d'en garantir la santé et l'intégrité pour les générations à venir. The Township of Tiny has been and will continue to be an important homeland and gathering place for Indigenous peoples and Métis citizens. Altogether, we are the stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters, and we are to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come.
Thank you, Councillor Holoka. Well done. Moving on to announcements and presentations, starting off with H1, which is updates to the Ontario Recycling Program taking effect January 1st, 2026 across Ontario, actually. And here to give us an update is Deputy Mayor.
Thanks, Your Worship, and through you. So the County of Simcoe has put out a notice regarding this. Unfortunately, even with so much advocacy by the county at the provincial level, the province has decided not to include the IC&I properties, which is industrial, commercial, and institutional properties, from receiving curbside recycling collection as part of the transition. For average homeowners like ourselves, nothing changes other than the company that is contracted by the province through Circular Materials Ontario to collect our blue box materials. So your garbage day will, or your recycling day will not change. However, the person that picks up the green bin and the person that picks up the blue bin will be different companies. So they may not be done at the same time due to different routes that they will be taking. So if you notice your green bin's picked picked up, do not assume your blue bin has been. It may be later in the day. Otherwise, no other changes. The only thing that's still to be determined right now is if you do have additional blue box materials. There will be a charge at any county waste facilities because we are not getting the subsidies anymore through the provincial government. It's all going through Circular Materials Ontario. As of press time today, there's still no announcement from Circular Materials Ontario as to whether they'll have a facility to take recycling in the county of Simcoe or even close to the township of Tiny. So I'm sure more details will continue to come out as we approach that January 1st transition date. Thanks, Your Worship.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, hopefully the vast majority of us don't see any difference, and unless I don't have a relationship with my recycling fellow or in the morning, but he's usually there pretty early, but your bins don't change. I know that some, like York Region, the actual bins change, so there's some consternation over that, but so hopefully for the vast majority, not. We did discuss recycling fee costs in Simcoe County level, the deputy mayor and I, and there is a marginal fee, frankly. It doesn't cover the full cost, but there's some there that's still being discussed at this time. So we just want to make sure everybody's aware, really, because I know that as much as we say that we're pounding on this every week or every 3 weeks, January 1st, January 2nd, there's going to be people that are, especially in the ICI part, that are going to have to arrange for recycling pickup. And we know it's a burden, and we want to try and get ahead of it as much as we possibly can. So, okay, moving on. Township of Tiny Citizen Awards. The nominations are still open. They'll be open until January 5th, 2026. And any information can be, if you're interested, and certainly if you have somebody that's worthy and somebody that's in your community, please feel free. The instructions for nominating that person are available at tiny.ca. At Farling Lake Water Levels Public Information Center will be taking place next Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It will be here physically here in the council chambers. I will be here. Director Leach will be here, and it will be hybrid as well. So we will be looking forward to getting some feedback from the community and hopefully educating the community as well in terms of what we can and can't do with the ongoing water level issues, not just in Farling Lake. I know that Georgian Bay is a little low right now, and so is my well. Annual Christmas movie night. We are playing Home Alone on Friday, November 28th at 6:30 p.m. at the TTCC on concession 8. Tree lighting ceremony. We're very excited about this. We have Director Pallas and his team have got some upgrades to including a new Christmas tree. So living Christmas tree. They will take place on Friday, December 5th. 2025, and it will begin at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the Perkinsfield Park, as it always has been. But change in terms of day. So Friday, we're hopefully looking for a much larger crowd to come over. Not that we'd had any problem with crowd last year or have, but we're going to let some other people get an opportunity to participate as well. And then the next day, December 6th, is the Wyville Parks and Recreation Santa Claus Parade. So that begins at 7 p.m. On Saturday. That's a really great event. There are lots of viewing areas, lots of places to park, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of people on that event as well. So, and I will add, it's not on the list here, that on this Saturday, the 22nd of November, I believe, at 11 to 12, there's a Christmas parade in Midland that Tiny will be participating in, but also a really great event. A lot of floats and participants in that project that runs from Little Lake down to Bay Street. So. Moving on, item H7, our regular new Administration Center update from Director Leach. Director Leach.
Thank you, Mayor. Just give a very brief update. As people probably noticed, there hasn't been a lot of activity in the last couple of weeks. We're between phases right now. All the compaction is completed on the pad, and obviously the construction road going in. Just to note, the construction road, it will form the base of the other road, so it's not like we're going to be replacing it. It'll just be continue to be built upon. Some of the activities that's upcoming, the foundation at the end of the month, start of December. All the permits have been issued. This is a phased approach for our permits. And so those have been issued. The drawings have been complete. We've got all the tenders in line for the installation of the foundation. Other activities that we're working on is the hydro line, getting the feed in. We'll be looking at a feed from Concession 8. It'll be coming through the property. It'll be going into all the areas that have been identified through our species at risks assessment, the EIS, so there's no impact on that. They've already reviewed our plans and also with the archaeological, so we're making sure from those two aspects that there's no issues with the path from our for our hydro line. That still has a bit to go, but we've got to get all the designs in. We're working with Ontario Hydro for that. So that's, we will be doing all the proper paperwork for that too, to make sure that everything's correct. So we've issued the permit. The last update is we are continuing with our ad hoc committee. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get quorum this week, but we will be rescheduling into December. It's important to keep this group moving forward. They've come up with some really good ideas. Just want to remind the public, we are looking for idea generation. Any idea, just because it's portrayed or if you see it, doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be happening. But sometimes ideas spark other ideas, and that's why we're encouraging an open thought process for this ad hoc committee. Like I just want to confirm that just because somebody may read something online, that doesn't mean necessarily that we're doing it. These will all be reviewed and vetted for the applicability to this facility. So at this point, that's all I have for the new building. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Leach. Comments? Councillor Wama.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. Had some concerns from residents over us pouring concrete in the wintertime, additional costs. Could we clarify how much concrete we're pouring? I think, my understanding is that a lot of the concrete pour will still be in the spring.
Director Leach.
That's correct. The provisions have been made through our tendering, and it really doesn't have an impact on the costing at this point for the concrete pour that we're doing. There's various different things for concrete that you can do in the colder months, and the hoarding and the protecting of it. So those provisions have all been looked after and taken care of for this pour.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to announcements and comments from councillors. We'll start with Councillor Holoka, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to acknowledge the passing of our friend and our neighbor recently, Richard Lesperance. He was a fixture in the township for almost 70 years, grew an enormous business, and was very well loved, liked, as per the high number of tow trucks that did a drive-by in his honor. And I just want to acknowledge that members of council just pass on our deepest condolences to the Lesperance family. Thank you.
Yeah, to echo your comments, Councillor Holoka, it was a great afternoon, and in terms of seeing the whole community and the number of people that were in that facility, and certainly look forward to being with the family as they go through this difficult time. So, any other announcements, Council? I have one announcement in our new special events and charities committee last night. One of our new member started, Bob McMillan. So I want to congratulate Bob on starting with our committee, and we had a very robust meeting like we always do. And we're going to be actually meeting on a monthly basis moving forward, the number of things that we have ongoing. So great to have Bob on board. Thank you. Anything else, Council? No, seeing nothing. As usual, I want to make sure that people know, if you want to keep up to date on what's going on in the township, tinyconnect.ca is your place to go. And of course, you can access that through tiny.ca as well. So keep up to date on a, I'm sure, daily basis of what's going on in the community. Okay, moving on. This is a time for a public comment period. If there's anybody that would like to make a comment with regards to an item that's on the regular meeting agenda, please feel free to come on up. Okay, no problem. We'll have another opportunity at the end of our committee of the whole meeting. This is the regular meeting of council. There'll be a committee of a whole meeting in the second part of our afternoon. And we do have another comment period of that if something does come up. So thank you very much. And we have one deputation to council today. This is from Tina and Doug Sanamon. And it's a request for amendment to our noise bylaw. So Tina and Doug, if you want to come up, and we'll grab a chair there for you. Another chair. Great, if just want to hit, Tina, if you just want to hit your button there. So you've got 10 minutes, take your time, and the floor is yours.
We're asking the township to amend the noise bylaw. We feel it's very inadequate. We don't want other people in the township to endure what we've had to. I will, yeah. We live right next door to Perky's Fish and Chips. They are being very unethical and unneighborly because they know the noise is causing us great stress. It's affecting our mental health. It's been years that we've tried to resolve it, but they just won't budge. And we've had bylaw come over, but the bylaw doesn't address the noise from
Their exhaust fan.
yeah, from their exhaust fan. And it's constantly, it's 6 days a week, from 8:45 to 8:30 at night. And it's from mid-May to mid-October that we have to tolerate it. If the noise was generated by an electronic device, or if it was a dog that was barking, bylaw would be there and be taking care of it. You know, there's nothing else we can do. We're at your mercy to help us resolve it. It's just unbearable. There's a lot of other issues that we have with Perky's, but we manage it. We just tolerate it and we accept it. But this fan noise, you have no idea how it affects us. And if you allow me, I will play a little video. It's just very, very short, and it's of the noise. And take into consideration, I know we've had bylaw come over, but they're there for 5 minutes, and it's like, well, it's not that bad. Well, you know, put up with it 9 days a week. It affects your mental health over time, I'll tell you. And the phone doesn't do justice. If you drive by, you'll notice that Perky's is at an angle and our house is right there. So we directly get the noise. They have a big sign at the front which reflects their side, so it all comes to our side. We've tried many times going over, and they just tell us call bylaw because they know that nothing will be done. What are we to do? We've been there for 39 years. We want to stay there. Anything you want to add?
Yeah,
My husband's an industrial millwright, and he has gone over and suggested things that they can do. And we realized that the fire chief had said you couldn't put, what was it?
a noise barrier
A
directly.
noise
by-
barrier,
yeah.
but there's other things that can be done. Why can't you purchase a fan that's quiet,
Yes,
that's
they-
updated?
We've given them suggestions to control their noise, and they want nothing to do with it. They don't care. The township says we don't have to do anything about it.
Yeah. And normally I get 2 words out and they'll be like, call bylaw. That's all I get, call bylaw. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, is that, I want to give you sufficient time to make sure you, is that,
Yeah, we just,
Yeah.
we'd like to see the bylaw change. And again, primarily so like if we were to sell our home and move on to get away from them, all we're doing is passing the problem on to somebody else. Is that fair to the person that
Well-
buys our home?
Who's gonna buy it, coming in and listening to that noise?
okay. Okay, I think there's a few questions for you, if you
Sure.
can stay, that would be great.
Yeah.
I'll start with Councillor Wama, Councillor Loca, and then Councillor Wama.
Thank you, your worship. Yeah, we read your letter, and I go by there quite a bit. Have you measured the current decibel noise level yet?
No, we have not.
Okay. Because changing the bylaw, if it's still under,
Yes, readings will have to be taken by an authorized person. I am industrial millwright that works in a factory that the company does do periodically sound noise. It's a rated average at a decibel to a time rating. Yeah, I'm not qualified to take those measurements.
right, but we would like to know what that measurement is right now, because changing the bylaw may not be sufficient to what you're asking.
Yeah, I hear you're saying, but I have no means of taking that measurement.
Okay. And one more question, your worship. If they bought a new exhaust fan, are there quieter versions that would
Yes.
accommodate the size of their operation?
Yes, sir. Being an industrial millwright, working in an industrial factory, I've been on occasions assigned a task of going to lessen exhaust fans to the point of replacing them with new super quiet fans.
And do you know how much any of these fans, ballpark of what they would cost?
Ballpark, I would say $2,000 to $3,000.
Okay,
It's not undoable. It's very doable.
okay, thank you. That's all for me, your worship.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Wama, please.
Thank you, worship, through you. I sympathize. It does sound like a terrible experience. I've actually chatted with a friend of yours who voiced her concern on your behalf for the noise. Council's always got to do its due diligence in matters like this. It wouldn't be just you said
Yes.
game
Yes.
over.
That's exactly why we've
That's
decided
why
to do
we're
this
here.
now.
And so
Take
things
time.
that come forward in my decision-making process was, how long has Perky's been there? Was the property zoned commercial prior to? Understanding that if you were to have a home beside a commercial property, that those were some considerations that
Yes.
would have to be made. So there may be concessions that you would have to make as well on the
Yes,
go-forward component.
we understand we live beside an industrial establishment. There are other things that go on there. Yes, in the past, when they first moved in there, when the co-owner has passed away, we did talk with him, and he did do things to lessen the noise, but he's passed away, and the current, the mother and daughter.
Okay. So our general process for these is to take this under advisement, and then our next council meeting, we would discuss. So,
Okay.
just as an FYI for today, but thank you for coming in.
3 weeks?
Thank you, Councillor Wama. Comments? Councillor Brunel, please.
Great, thank you thank you for your presentation today, and to let us know your concerns. As of May 14, 2025, there was a report that came out that we actually, as this council, on July 19th of 2023, directed staff to come up with a report for noise, for the noise bylaw and nuisance calls. It's over 2 years ago. Just like to, through you, Chair, to ask Clerk, it did mention in May this past year that in the third quarter, which we're now in the fourth quarter, that this was supposed to come out from the bylaw department. Is there Is there a timeline for that noise bylaw report to come out?
Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Through the chair, I don't have a status update at this time, but I can follow up with the chief and get back to council.
Great, thank you.
Councilor Brunel, you're good? You good?
Yeah, you took my question.
Okay, yeah, no, I just want to, I think that, thanks, Councilor Brunel, for bringing that up. I was bringing that up as well. And Ms. St. Amo and I, we've had two conversations about this. So this is obviously not a new issue, and we've been through it, and we've discussed it. But I also want to give a little bit of context, because what tends to happen sometimes in these situations, being as accessible as we are, sometimes we get a lot of stuff coming at us that people just don't know how to resolve. And when we look at, as a township, we enforce the bylaws as they're written, right? So, and you know that, but I want to make sure everybody else is clear about this. So sometimes this in your situation starts to go into a civil law matter, and we have no jurisdiction in that. Of course, we have no jurisdiction in criminal law either, or, providing or enforcing those laws. We enforce only the bylaws that we have. So I'm not giving you a solution, but I do want to note two things. First of all, that we create the process, we create the criteria that our team and our staff implement. So when bylaw came to see you this year and 2 years ago, I believe, and the year before, they were working off the bylaw information that was there, right? So unfortunately, it didn't resolve the situation for you at that time, but they're working off of the bylaw that's in place. And I know I'm speaking to the choir here, you've already heard this from me, but I want everybody else to know that. Given that we've already got, it sounds like we did start this process in 2023, albeit we don't have a solution for you right now. We have recognized that there's an issue here, and it's the noise itself. Councillor Holoka brought up the decibel meter and the implementation of the decibel meter. I don't want to speak for our chief municipal law enforcement officer, but it is an interpretive process. But we have approached that, and we've dipped our foot in the water, so to speak, of trying to find a way to enforce this, not just in your situation, but to provide some clarity in terms of discerning what is and what is not a noise violation. So my recommendation right now, although you're not leaving with a yes or no, or this is what's going to happen, I would appreciate your consideration to receive this as information for us to follow up on our bylaw department and to continue on with, albeit it's 2 years, don't get me wrong, it's 2023 that we started it, but we're still here for another year, so we have time to follow up on that and to get you a more substantive answer. So, Council, anything else? Councillor Olka, please.
Yeah, I just, this 90 decibels, I know it's a guideline but I'd like to know where that fan sits in that range, whether is it 120, is it 60,
It's not exceeding that 90 decibels.
it doesn't exceed the 90?
No,
Okay. Well, you
as a
think it
general-
doesn't?
As an
Right.
uninformed statement and being some experience through my employer,
Right,
it doesn't exceed that.
it's just utterly annoying,
It's a nuisance, yeah.
yes.
It's a
Okay,
nuisance noise, and I do believe it's measured in time.
okay,
It's not just a 80 decibels
sure,
can or can't do. It's 80 decibels over a period of time.
right, correct, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Again, Councillor Holoka, my point earlier was that bylaw right now doesn't have the guidelines to interpret that,
Yes.
right? So that's where
That's what we're
we're
asking to.
we're missing, so to
Yeah.
speak. So if indeed that's the solution, I'm not going to be an expert on that, but Deputy Mayor, you had something to add?
Thank you. Through your worship, yeah, just to answer Councillor Holoka's, the 90 decibel, I believe is under the Occupational Health and Safety Code, and as Mr. St. Amand recognized, it's an average. You take readings and it's averaged out because there are long-term hearing loss in certain industries. So under the Occupational Health and Safety Code, it's been determined anything above 90 decibels over a period of time can result in basically WSIB claims.
Yeah.
And that's where the number comes from.
And even lower noise settings from, and again, if it's under industrial settings.
Council, any further discussion? Okay, we're all good with bringing it back in 3 weeks for further discussion? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Tina,
Thank you
Doug,
for your
thanks,
time.
thanks very much for coming in. Appreciate your input. Thank you. Moved by Deputy Mayor. Seconded by Councillor Holoka. Motion is that a deputation received from Tina and Doug St. Amant regarding a request for an amendment to the noise bylaw be received as information. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Motion carried unanimously. Okay, thank you. Good. Well, not good, but good input. Reports of consultants or third parties, we don't have any today. We're moving on to adopting and receiving of minutes of previous meetings. Item L1 is the minutes of council, advisory committees, and other meetings. Mover and a seconder for discussion. Councillor Deputy Mayor, thank you. Councillor Woma, thank you. Any items to be pulled or for discussion, council? Seeing none, motion is that items under section L1, minutes of council, advisory committees, and other meetings be adopted as distributed. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Motion is carried. Item L2, minutes of closed session committee of the whole meeting minutes for October 29th, 2025, closed session committee of the whole, and October 29th, 2025, closed session regular meeting of council minutes. Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Brunel. Councillor Wama. Any discussion on these items, council? Councillor Brunel.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to ask a question through you, Chair, to Clerk. I just noticed that there's a meeting, the 1029 closed session regular meeting of council, quote, under separate cover. What does that mean for the public to know?
Madam Clerk.
Yeah, thank you through the chair. The minutes are not provided on the agenda for council and senior management that have access to the closed session portion of the agenda. It was provided to council as a standalone item due to the confidentiality of the matter.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Councillor, thank you very much. Okay. Motion is that the following minutes be adopted as distributed. 10/29/25, closed session committee of the whole, and 10/29/2025, closed session regular meeting of council. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Motion is carried. Okay, moving on to item L3 is committee of the whole reports. Sorry, we have one. From October 29th, 2025, Committee of the Whole report, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Move for discussion, Councillor Holoka. And Deputy Mayor. Anything for discussion on this item, Council? Councillor Holoka, please, let's start off.
Just one point, Your Worship. I'm just wondering if anybody from staff have spoken to Richard Greaves regarding his dead tree once and for all? Director Leach, can you help with this?
Director Leach, are you able to speak to the
Yep.
the dead Greaves tree?
Yep, through the chair. Once we ratify the minutes of this, then part of our direction will be to follow up with the resident with the final direction.
Thank you very much.
Good, great. Anything else, council? Okay, moved by Councillor Holoka, seconded by Deputy Mayor Miskimins, that the recommendations contained within the Committee of the Whole report of October 29th, 2025 is voted upon, be formally approved and adopted. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Motion is carried. We don't have any matters for consideration today, council. Is there any items for new business? Seeing any notices of motion for today? Notices of motion. Okay, moving on to bylaws. We have 4 bylaws for final consideration today. The motion is that bylaws 25-054, 25-058, 25-062, 25-063 be passed and enacted this 19th day of November 2025. Any comments, questions before a vote? No, and mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Brunel. And Deputy Mayor. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Motion is carried. And moving on, pretty quick so far, moved by Councillor Woma, the confirmatory bylaw, seconded by Councillor Loca. Confirmatory bylaw being that bylaws 25-064 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council be passed and enacted this 19th day of November 2025. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Motion is carried. And move into adjournment at 2:38 p.m. Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Holoka. All those in favor? Thank you very much. The regular meeting of council for November 16, 2025 is now concluded. We'll take a brief break and then we'll come back with Councillor Woma, who will be the chair of committee of the whole meeting. We say 2:45, Councillor Woma? Sure. It's up to you. Your meeting, so. Okay, we'll be back at 2:45. Great. Thank you very much.